All right, I'm back. Sorry. Oh, you fell. Okay. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna do another little quick one to finish out my thought process there. Why would certain things be allowed or encouraged to get through by certain voices and all that? Why is other stuff not allowed to get through? Which is obviously the majority of the stuff, is kept under lock and key, pretty obviously. But there's these certain elements that they just allow to be out there, and they just allow the fringe of society to munch on it, and eventually it sort of just trickles down, and so it seems to be to trickle down into the just sort of conversation, the social conversation, maybe not mainstream, but the conversation. So more or less people are prepared for it. But I think within that, there seems to me to be some secondary sort of plays, right? Because it's obvious they want to be the ones to control this, whoever they is, right? Whoever the deep state shadow people are, whatever. But whatever it's the ruling class is doing there, or whoever they are, I think the move that's going on with certain voices saying, being allowed to say, once again, just encouraged, allowed, no one stops them, like Tucker Carlson, for example. He's just allowed to say and put out there, that there's a spiritual component, right? That there's, he thinks, and by what he's heard on the down low from the government people or whatever, the agents, or whatever, G-men, men in black, whatever you want to call them, what he's heard and found out by all the stuff he's found out, and by the things he's been communicated to him, that he felt like there was a supernatural spiritual component, it was a spiritual thing going on, and above natural, right? Above this plane of existence that we are all on, right? And he had to, so he stopped, right? He stopped. And I think that's interesting, that response, because I think that's why this element within the alien stuff of the spiritual components to it, I think the play there in allowing that stuff to get through is they think that they know what the reaction's going to be by some significant groups. For one thing, once you look at, the big voices on the internet that are, the intellectuals and stuff like that, Sam Harris, Eric Weinstein, Brett Weinstein, all of these intellectual people, Douglas Murray, and all this stuff, Jordan Peterson, all of these things, there's a very clear sort of aim towards religion, religion's good or whatever, but there's also very clear paths to atheism, and that atheism has festered and grown and become a thing throughout the 90s especially, and then the 2000s with Sam Harris and Hitchens and all those kinds of people, and they were sort of joined up with the science people like Dawkins and Neil deGrasse Tyson and these strictly science intellectual people, and those two forces kind of came together, and it seems to me. And when you say stuff like what Tucker Carlson has said, what others have said, it's a spiritual thing, blah, da, 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 those people automatically shut it down. Like the Sam Harris's or the Neil deGrasse Tysons or the hyper like secular intellectual, the second you say supernatural, right, and that kind of class of people, which they're just rich privileged people that, like, I don't know how you live without faith, bro. It's hard out here. It's hard out here. But the new atheists and the science people join forces, and like as soon as you say spiritual anything, like they're like done. They're done with that. Especially the science people. They're like, oh, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And the other play I think that they're hoping for by allowing that spiritual influence to be throughout the alien stuff is, oh, by the way, in How to Hunt and all the Sasquatch stuff, there is the same exact spiritual component. It's insane. There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that I've communicated through Steve that they called upon the name of Jesus Christ, and it got them out of this insane situation, right, where the ultimate fear was present that they've ever experienced. Like, it's in that stuff too. But going back to what I said, like, there's these, I think one thing they're hoping for will happen by allowing the spiritual stuff to get through, and the alien stuff is, look what Tucker Carlson did when he started finding out some of this stuff. Apparently he stopped, and he because it was troubling to him, right? I think people, the play for the people who are in control or trying to control it, they're hoping for a lot of that, because they're hoping that a lot of religious people will, as soon as you say it's spiritual, they're gonna feel like it's something in competition with the faith that they have, right? As soon as you say that there's a spiritual component to the aliens, that automatically means that it's in competition with my belief in Jesus type situation. That's not how I feel at all. The way I feel about that is like, no matter what you have to say, everything Jesus said, did, or otherwise, it is the ultimate in human goodness, positivity, and focus. And it does not matter any of that, any of it, because it gets people through this life. And it applies, all that applies to us regardless of whatever they have to say, or however whatever happened is, did, or other, whatever it is, whatever. If Jesus was discovered to be an alien, wouldn't matter. Like, so not everybody feels this way, apparently, but I think the spiritual thing, the spiritual move, and allow it, that stuff getting allowed to get through, right? And with the alien stuff, is so people will shut down. People will either move away from it, or it's stupid human ridiculousness. I'm so smart, I'm a scientist, or I'm just this super intellectual guy, you know? And so they'll associate it with the religions that they dislike or distrust or whatever it is so much, or work against so much. And like, then the scientists will be like, it's not scientific enough. And so it has to do with God. Like, nope. And then religious people who actually do have faith will go away from it because they'll feel like it's in competition with, or they'll feel like they've heard that it'll shake them for so long that they'll go away from it because they feel like they don't want to lose. They have an apprehension of losing their faith, right? I think that there's certain big groups like this that they're hoping to affect in these secondary moves of control that goes down to like disclosure, set the secondary levels and phases of disclosure, right? Like there's got to be different levels to this, and they're hoping because they want to be in control of it and they obviously don't want to lose control of it. That's why they allow these things to happen. Some things to be out there, some things not. And, and like that whole sequence of events has been going on all through most of the 20th century and the entire 21st century so far. And it just keeps getting more intense. And I think that there's whole lots of forces and moves being done. But anyway, okay, I hope I didn't sound drunk throughout these couple, but I got to get in there. Thank you guys for another good couple videos, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, God help us all get through it. All right, see you next time.